Heading into the 2026 IPL auction, there is one name that is on everyone's lips, more so than perhaps anyone else: Cameron Green. The Australian all-rounder who has previously played for both the Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers of Bengaluru, well, he is up for auction, has registered, and there is an expectation that given this is a mini auction, he is going to break the bank for a lot of teams and he is going to attract a huge sum. And that's easy to understand why. Most teams have their cores built. So this is the time really where you can actually look to splurge. And we have seen it happen in the past that players have gone for crazy sums, particularly overseas players during the mini auction. But what if I told you that no matter what happens, Cameron Green can't be paid more than 18 crore rupees by his franchise? Believe it or not, that is actually true. Why exactly did I say that? Well, that's what I'm going to explain to you guys in this particular video. Now, it is worth noting that Green has registered for the auction at a base price of rupees 2 crores. That is the base price that he is at right now. And that is the base price that you can see on your screens. 2 crores is the amount that he's gotten or registered for. And his expected auction fee is somewhere between anything over 20 crores as a bare minimum is what most people are expecting he will go for. However, the maximum amount of money that he can earn is rupees 18 crores. Why so? It comes about from a rule that was put in place ahead of last year's auction called the maximum fee rule. And this rule basically caps off the price for any player in a mini auction to the maximum price of retention that is set in the prior mega auction. So because the maximum price that was set, the maximum price slab that was set by the IPL was 18 crores, Green will only be getting 18 crores even if, let's say, a team bids 30 crores for him. Let's go over also what this rule is and what the wordings are of this particular rule. It said that any overseas player's auction fee at the small auction will be lower than the highest retention price of rupees 18 crore or the highest price at the big option. So basically what it says is that any player's auction fee, any overseas player's auction fee at the mini auctions will be lower than or can only be capped at 18 crores or the highest price at the big auction. The big auction, of course, being the mega auction, and because in the mega auction the price was capped at 18 crores, well, then that is basically what he will be getting as a maximum fee. But what happens to the extra money? What if, say, some team decides to bid 30 crores and actually gets him for 30 crores? What happens to the extra 12 crores? Well, that will end up going to the BCCI. Because this is what the rule further says. It says that the incremental amount will be deposited with the BCCI. The incremental amount deposited with the BCCI will be utilized towards player welfare. Now, we don't know what the player welfare is that is being quoted here, but let's say, for instance, some team bids 30 crores for Cameron Green. They get him for 30 crores. He'll still only get 18 crores. 12 crores will go to this BCCI fund, which is then used for player welfare. It comes about for one very simple reason, actually two very simple reasons. Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins. Why did I say that? Well, cast your mind back to the 2023 auction, which took place. It was also a mini auction, and both Cummins and Starc were available in the auction. Pat Cummins went for crazy money, just a shade over 20 crores, and most people thought that that was going to be a major sum because, after all, this is the Aussie captain, and he ended up becoming captain of SRH as well. But then in comes Mitchell Starc and he smashes that record in the very same auction because KKR get him for 24.75 crore. A massive fee that still to this date remains a record in terms of mini auctions. Obviously, the mega auction of 2025 has shattered those records because you saw the likes of Shreyas Iyer go for 26.75 crores. Rishabh Pant went for 27 crores. So the overall record has been shattered, but in mini auctions, Starc still holds the record. Now, there was a concern among certain franchises that a lot of foreign players were basically opting out of mega auctions but signing up for the mini auctions. Why? Because they expected that their arrival or their availability in the auction pool would create something of a spike in demand and then they'd go for a ridiculous fee, which is true. It's basically how basic economics works, right? Basic economics will tell you that it is in essence demand and supply. So because a top overseas player is available, the demand for them is going to be high and therefore the supply, the fee that they capture or get will be very big. But the BCCI wanted to cap that and wanted to dispromote or not promote the idea of skipping out on mega auctions, but only signing up for the mini ones to drive up the fee. Now, this is the actual reason. Do I agree with it at a personal level? No. I think it's best to let the market fees or the market forces dictate what the sum can be, because again, after all, there's already anyway a cap that exists with the salary caps, and with those salary caps being in place, it already is creating a fair market. It shouldn't stop teams from spending within the salary cap with something like this. But that is the rule that ensures that Cam Green will not be breaking his compatriots' record anytime soon. What are your thoughts on the rule? Do you agree with it, disagree with it, think it should be abolished? Let us know all that in the comments below. And don't forget, as always, to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned for more such videos from the world of sport.